Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for joining me today for a special 4th of July episode. It is the birthday today of this great nation that I call home, the United States of America. And though in many ways it seems more fractured than ever nowadays, I am nonetheless incredibly grateful and incredibly proud to be a citizen of this country. And wanted to celebrate today, this being a sports card channel, with a countdown video of probably my favorite patriotic baseball card, the Topps Independence Day Parallel. Of course, you know, baseball being the national pastime and tied to our country's history in so many ways, Topps began honoring that with this parallel back in 2018. And this is the first year that they did it. This is an example here from my Red Sox team collection that I had back in the day. Held onto this card, Eduardo Rodriguez. So these came out in 2018 Topps Series 1, and they've been in the flagship set, Series 1, Series 2, and Update every single year since. So this was the design that first year, those red, white, and blue stars. Still my favorite design to date, and I know that's the case for the majority of people that collect these. And what's great about them, they were numbered to 76 and are still numbered to 76 every year. There are no chrome versions of these or any other parallels. There's just Independence Day, numbered to 76, in flagship and update from 2018 right through present day. So here is a 2024 Topps Angels Team Leaders card. And this is also an Independence Day parallel. You can see they brought back the actual flag, full flag design here for 2024. Really dig what Topps did with these. I think this is the best design of these since the originals in 2018, and again, still numbered to 76. So, 7 or so years of this parallel and counting. And I thought what would be fun today, I've been buying these for years, and I thought it would be fun to do a countdown of my top 17 Independence Day cards. So my top 17 cards numbered to 76 for our nation's birthday. So I've already droned on here for over 2 minutes getting through the intro. Let's just get into the top 17, and I'll try to keep it brief as I go over each card to keep this from becoming a 30-minute video. We're going to start with number 17. It is the 2021 Shohei Ohtani. So great card here. The reason this one made the list, Shohei's a favorite modern player of mine. I'm not going to show the backs of all these. Just take my word for it that they're numbered every year to 76. This one, probably by all rights, should be higher on the list as well because it's an MVP season for Ohtani. 2021 was his first MVP, and that carries a lot of weight with me when it comes to collecting. However, this one falls all the way down to number 17 for two reasons. Number one, I have other Shohei cards that are above this one on my list. And number two, 2021 Topps is not my favorite design of all time. The player names are really small, kind of hard to read, and the Independence Day pattern that they used, which is really just a red star, is somewhat overwhelming. And underwhelming, I should say. And in this year, they did like a gold star parallel that is not numbered and is easy to come by that looks almost exactly the same. So really, this one is farther down the list just because of the design and it being maybe my least favorite year of the Independence Day parallel. But MVP year Shohei in at number 17. In at number 16, this is one that I showed just recently from 2023 Topps. My guy, Rafi Devers, the man right now in Boston. Great bat flip image here. And I do like the 2023 design. I wish it had some blue in it, but I do like the bold red stars in 2023, more so than I do this design from 2021. Devers, just a perennial stud, and got this card for a complete bargain recently and decided to slot that one in at number 16. At number 15, we have another player that I love collecting. That's really going to be the case for most, but not all of these. And it is Juan Soto, depicted here on the 2022 release. And this is a good look for us at, how little Topps changed this parallel design between 2021 on the left with Shohei and 2022 on the right with Juan Soto. The two flattest years of the product. But love this Juan Soto. Another great bat flip image to follow that Devers. And a nice PSA 9 grade as well. Of course, Soto having an amazing year again now with the Yankees. And so that card comes in at number 15. Number 14, some of these are going to be cards I've never shown before on the channel. So I have a habit of doing that. And this next one at number 14 is one of those cards. And it's not one you would expect. It's a player that I don't typically collect. It's the 2019 Cody Bellinger. This is the second year following the inaugural 2018s. And the reason I love this, aside from the image being just incredible, this is Cody's MVP season. So just like the Shohei that led off the countdown, I do put quite a bit of stock and weight into cards that represent, significant seasons. And so this Cody Bellinger representing his MVP campaign was one that I definitely wanted to track down in Independence Day parallel format. And the 2019s are really sharp, just ton of color here, and they're really, really easy to spot compared to the ones that were, coming out a couple of years later. So number 14, MVP year, Cody Bellinger. Let's move these aside here. All right. Next up at number 13, this is one that I've shown before and only recently. First year, 2018, Giancarlo Stanton, the very end or towards the end of his tenure with the Marlins. And what I love about this, I mentioned it when I showed it off recently, aside from being a 2018, which carry a premium, most of us collectors, whether vintage or modern, we seem to like firsts for some reason. And aside from this being a 2018 and a first year of the parallel, it does have along the bottom of the stat line on the back, his monster 2017 MVP season noted, 59 home runs, 132 ribbies, and a 6.9 WAR. Won the NL MVP the year prior to this card coming out. And great classic image there as well that really works well with this parallel design. So Giancarlo Stanton, number 13. Coming in at number 12, a name that we're going to see a couple times on this list, Mookie Betts, one of my favorite players to collect, and was fortunate recently to land his 2023 Independence Day. Bought this from friend of the channel, Contrarian Cards, awesome channel here on YouTube, Jason, who I know appreciates these parallels as well, and was honored and very fortunate to be able to score this one in a PSA 9 from my pal Jason. What I love about this, great image here from Mookie, and again, going back to big seasons, this card represents what I think is his second best season of his career to date. Mookie with an amazing campaign in 2023 and really only lost out on the NL MVP due to Ronald Acuna's just insane season for the ages. More on that in a minute. But for now, number 12, the 2023 Mookie Betts. Okay, number 11 here. Last card before we break into the top 10. Also from 2023, the man we just spoke about, Ronald Acuna Jr. This is my only Independence Day card of his. I'm not a big Acuna collector, never have been. I like the guy quite a bit. You just can't collect everybody. And so I have very few of his cards, but I wanted to go out and get this one again because it represents the MVP year. And honestly, this is the only card in my collection that is graded by ISA grading. So I don't care about that. I don't put any stock in it. Just picked up this copy because it was incredibly cheap. I got this, I believe, if I recall, around the $45 price point. It was under $50. And then I didn't know this when I bought it, but what was kind of cool to me, the serial numbering, the way that it worked out here. Of course, Acuna, the primary reason he won MVP in 2023, he became a member of a select club, the 40-40 club, 40 home runs and 40 steals. And then he went on to establish, new grounds there like 40-50, 40-60. I think he even got to 40-70. But anyway, that number 40 was really significant for his 2023 campaign. And what do you know? Just so happens this is number 40 of 76. So this is definitely the single copy. I don't put a ton of faith in that. I wouldn't have paid up, a tremendous amount extra for it. But I do think this is the single coolest copy of this card that I could have in my collection. So ISA slab be damned. That's the 2023 Ronald Acuna Jr. in slot number 11. And now we break into the top 10, and we start with the 2019 Mike Trout in a PSA 9. This is another one that I don't think I've ever shown on the channel before. Picked it up a few months back, I think this past off season. Had been trying to get one of these for years, believe it or not. But as many modern collectors know, with most parallels that are numbered to 100 or less that are popular, with the passage of time, they really dry up. And it took me a long time to find one of these. The ones that would be available were at an insane price point, and I think I did pretty well kind of buying this at a low, but I love this. And what's extra cool about it, we looked a little while ago at the Cody Bellinger, and Mike Trout was the AL MVP in 2019, as most of you probably know. So with this card in hand, not only is it a nice win for the Trout collection, but for my Independence Day collection overall, I love that I have both the AL and the NL MVPs represented from 2019 on this parallel. So pretty sneaky, awesome Mike Trout card there from 2019 in at number 10. Moving on here to number 9, have another Shohei. It is the 2020 Ohtani. And even though he didn't win an MVP or, have a significant season in that sense, it was a good season in 2020. This one was a little bit higher than the 2021 that kicked off the countdown because I love the design and I love the photograph. Just a great batting image here. I think this design is a little bit better as far as the parallel goes than those 2022s and 2023s. And I just love that in this shot, Ohtani looks like he's about 10 feet tall. He just looks like a monster, the way they have kind of tightly cropped him into the frame. And then lastly, 2020, with the pandemic and everything that happened, was a big year and an interesting year for our hobby. And so I think this card kind of has an interesting place in hobby history as well. Got this very cheap years ago, and I'm assuming it would sell for a little bit more now. Moving into the top 8, at number 8, we have the 2018 JV, Justin Verlander. This is an example of just kind of scoring a card at a complete bargain. Scored this in a buy it now for around $20, maybe a year or two ago. And again, being that inaugural Independence Day set, these are super tough. JV, probably my number 1 overall favorite pitcher from the 21st century to collect. So was really happy to add that one. Sort of slowly working on a Verlander run, and would love to kind of get all of his Independence Day cards, but that's probably the most difficult one there. So pretty happy with that one at number 8. Next up at number 7, I have not shown this one either. From the same year as the Shohei that we just saw, 2020, also landed recently, the Albert Pujols. 700 home run hitter, and one of the premier offensive players of his generation. And this was not that expensive. Scored this one only recently, within the last month or two. Really happy with it. Another great image. And again, I just love the 2020 set. So this is my highest rated Albert Pujols. Would love to find a 2018 Pujols, and kind of stupidly sat on a 2019 Pujols that I should have bought for a while that's now gone. So this currently represents my earliest Albert Pujols Independence Day parallel in at number 7. Next up at number 6, we have another 2018. Again, that first year carrying a lot of weight. Miggy, member of the 500 home run club, the 3,000 hit club, Triple Crown winner. Big fan of this player, and he's somebody who does not get, in my opinion, as much hobby love and respect as he should. Recently got the Topps Black version of this card to pair up with this Indy, but just love this Cabrera. Again, a perfect image that works so nicely with these kind of radiating stars in this 2018 design. And all those factors combined got this pumped up all the way to number 6 in my countdown. And now we break into the top 5. These are going to be some of what the kids would call bangers. And we start off with number 5 from 2019 Topps. How about this? Pacific Power, featuring Mike Trout on the left and Shohei Ohtani on the right. Love these combo cards. I love these cards just as much as I do the combo cards from the 60s or 50s, the golden era. Obviously, 2 of the most popular and successful players in the game, 5 MVPs and counting, represented just on the front of this one card. And I love that it just so happens that this red design from 2019 is a perfect color match for the Angels. And it's slabbed up in my favorite grade, a PSA 9. Big thanks to my buddy Kin from Bean's Ball Card Blog, who hooked me up with the seller on this off of eBay a year or two ago, and really, really pumped to have this one in the collection at number 5. At number 4, we have, I think, the last 2018 that we're going to look at today from that inaugural year. And it is, of course, the Mike Trout. Just an epic image. Love the 2018 design with that kind of wave effect. And again, my favorite version of this parallel. One of the most difficult cards. I would say outside of rookie cards from the 2018 class, like, trying to find a Soto or an Acuna or an Ohtani from 2018, even a Devers would be incredibly expensive. But outside of that rookie class, I would say this Mike Trout is probably the most expensive 2018 Independence Day card. And another one that took me years to find, and I'm really, really happy to have his first 2 years, 2018 and 2019, in the collection. So that one's all the way up at number 4. Coming in at number 3, a card that I have talked about before, but I think is really important. The 2023 Topps AL home run leaders from 2022. Representing, of course, Aaron Judge's epic 62 home run season where he topped Roger Maris's 61 to set a new American League record. I think this is an important leaders card because of that, and that's why I ranked it all the way up at number 3 on this countdown, even though some of the other cards that we've just looked at, especially the couple that came before this, are certainly more valuable from a monetary perspective. I just can't state enough the significance of this card, in my opinion. So love this. Love that I have one of the 76 copies of this one out there, and decided to rank it all the way up at number 3 just because of my love of that home run chase. That takes us to number 2, where I cheated slightly. I did choose 2 cards in a pair for slot number 2 on the countdown, but I think it makes sense, and I hope you can forgive me. Chose the Shohei Ohtanis from 2023. Of course, he is represented twice on the checklist, once pitching and once hitting. I think the first player since maybe Ted Williams to get 2 base cards in the top set. It's happened a couple of years now for Ohtani, and I love that I was able to acquire both of these. Long story short, I had sold a batch of cards maybe about a year ago or a little less, and I had a decent amount of money in the hobby war chest, and these surfaced at the same time from the same seller in matching PSA 10s. And given what Ohtani did in 2023, having that season for the ages, I really thought it was a great opportunity to add these to my Independence Day collection. I don't typically collect PSA 10s, but again, I had a little bit of that extra, hobby funds available, and decided to go for it. And this pair represents my second favorite Independence Day card or cards, just because of that season that he had on both sides of the ball. Probably the best to do it since Babe Ruth, at least in Major League Baseball, going back, over 100 years. So love this representation of his MVP 2023 season. And again, while I'm not going to drag it out of the pile here below, I do have that Ronald Acuna. And so when put together with this, I do have the MVPs from both the AL and NL represented on the Independence Day design in my collection as well. So there's definitely been a trend towards MVPs as I've gone through this. And that takes us all the way to card number 1, and it's another appearance of Mookie Betts from the 2019 Topps release. This is my current number 1 favorite Independence Day card in my collection. And like the other Betts that we saw in the countdown, also acquired this, although quite a while back now, from my buddy Jason over at Contrarian Cards. The image here is fantastic. The color match for the Red Sox to red is fantastic. And like the Stanton that we looked at earlier, this card came on the heels of his best ever MVP season. So on the back here, again, I love that on the stat line, we see that 10.4 WAR for Betts' 2018 MVP season, in which he also won a batting title and a World Series with the Red Sox. So this is my current favorite, number 1 on today's countdown of my top 17 Independence Day parallels in my collection. So happy birthday to this great country, and thank you to all of you who spent a few minutes of your time coming by to check out this countdown. I'm going to wrap it up there, and hope to do some more of these in the future. And I'll leave it on one final note. Probably the modern card that I want more than any other in existence is the 2018 Independence Day Mookie Betts. And so I want to put a bounty out there. If any of you that are going to the National, walking the floor, should happen to see the Independence Day Mookie Betts from 2018, the same design as this Justin Verlander, I will pay handsomely. I will pay you through PayPal or whatever it takes, but I am willing to pay a bounty if anybody runs into the 2018 Mookie Betts Independence Day card. So that's a wrap. Again, thanks for your time. I'll be back very soon with more countdown and other videos. And until then, keep enjoying the hobby. Happy 4th. Take care.